that reminds me that the time I was most scared. People say, "You work in that mortuary, aren't you afraid?" I said, "No, it's not the dead ones you got to be afraid of. It's the live ones." And we had people who lived in the bums would stay in the alley behind the mortuary because there was a mortuary and then there was an alley and a big wall, and it was kind of nice and not windy there. So, and there was a light burn out in the back, and so when we went on a call, we'd drive down the alley, circle around, come back, then go to the hospital or go to wherever, and then on the way back, drive down again, just to kind of let them all know that they need to get out of the way, that we were here. And so I drove down, circled around, and came back, and there was a garage that we didn't use anymore, but it had a person door. And in that garage, the reason we didn't use it is because they built a refrigerated unit. And the refrigerated unit had a great big compressor, and the belt was loose on that compressor. And every once in a while, the thing would start up and go, and if it was the right time, it kind of got started you. So I pulled up, opened the back door of the station wagon, pulled the gurney out, and that thing started up. I jumped in the middle. I was already a little spooky because I thought maybe bums were around or something. And that started. So, okay, that's all that is. So I closed the door, and I had to get out my key and unlock the door into the garage, the people door, and I rolled in there. And the light switch was on the other side of the garage. So we never even turned the light on. We just went right to the swinging doors into the prep room. So I roll her, and there's this lady, roll her in there. They had this porcelain table. It had a gutter all the way around. We'd run a hose all the time we were embalming someone. They had another hose into this big sink. And so everything you take out or wash off, it would just all go down in this sink. And the pedestal on that was like a barber chair. Only instead of with your foot, you'd crank it with your hand. So the fellow that I was apprentice under, Eddie, always liked me to set the body up and everything, and then he'd come down after I'd go back to bed. I'd go back to bed in the intercom and say, "Okay, it's here." And so he would call me and say, "Go to Sunrise and get it," or whatever. So that's how we communicated. And I know just how he liked the thing set up, and this was like 2 or 3 in the morning. So I set her on up there, and we have these little wooden triangles that would go under their elbows, so their hands would go like this, and then we had a rubber block we'd put under their head so that the head wouldn't be back like this. It'd be like it was on a pillow or something. And you put the feet together. And so I had her on there, and then he was a tall fellow. Eddie was, and so he liked it up quite a bit. So I went underneath and started jacking the table to raise it up to his height, 3 or 4, and I went underneath the thing because that's where you see the handle. I was down in there, and someone came and slapped me right on the back, and I wham hit my head under the table, and I backed out of there looking all around thinking, what the heck? And here's this lady like this. What happened? Her hand slid off and hit me on the back. That scared me more than anything. That's as scared as I've ever been. And I had a knot on my head the next day to show up, but that was pretty scary.